enough is the fact that I believe if we are to make the vaccine mandatory, it will, to some extent, have the opposite effect that's intended, which is people will become more resistant to the vaccine. In other words, it goes away to kind of confirm some of the conspiracy theories, right?
Yeah, because if people been
Right,
saying,
yeah, so if I'm already hesitant and whatever, and people, been saying like this is something the government planning for whatever reason.
since the Bible days, they've been saying that y'all trying to give people vaccines and implant them with things. And so now if the government pop up and be like, yes, it is
I
mandatory
tell her so.
for y'all. That's it. That is it. Literally, the conspiracy theorists and WhatsApp will go wild.
Yeah, I don't like. I feel not only conspiracy theorists, but you have to understand, like,
But even people who didn't believe, they're gonna start to look at you sideways, like.
yes, like because mandatory seems like such an extraordinary step, right? Um, and even from a historical context, like situations where people have not been given the choice over their health and the things that happen to them, like the historical examples we have of that are not necessarily good ones.
No.
Like think think Germany in the 1940s, right? So like I think it was the what's the name of that trial that I had after the when they had all the Germans on trial, and so the Nazi people on trial in Nuremberg. That's what they call it, the Nuremberg trials,
I'm
however it
gonna
was.
tell you right now.
I think it was. I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right, but yeah, that was one of the issues that were discussed there too. Giving people things against their will.
That's what all these establishments that we've seen and talked about who have been historically very wrong. These are things that they do. Like we could look at the is chlamydia that were giving
It was syphilis.
syphilis when they were running
Syphilis,
trials and giving people, and we're not saying in any way that this is similar, but messaging, like nobody wants to hear that they have to do something by force.
Yeah, they have to. They have to. That's just
Yeah.
kind
Good
of
friend,
make
And
people
also
not want to.
people think I get another thing too that I feel like is an issue where people having problems like even thinking about going for a vaccine is because we tend to think about self, and if this doesn't affect self, we don't care about it enough.
Yeah.
So I'm somebody who doesn't work in the tourism industry, who would probably not have to interact in their mind with somebody who may have COVID. I don't feel the need, especially in a country that has been keeping me safe for so long without a vaccine. No, I go and be like, I don't need to take a vaccine because this has nothing to do with me. So when I feel like we as a country think that because this is the right thing to do for the country, that they think that everybody is going to think the same.
But I don't. But my thing is, whether or not you believe that the discussion should address the main concerns of the people that are hesitant. Like that's my whole thing. Like, why is everything we discuss looked at through the lens of economics and seemingly economics alone? I just find that to be so incredibly.
Because to
The
be
lives
Narrow.
of others has to be tagged to economics.
It's just economics, like, oh.
Healthcare, economic, everything is just economics.
To be
As
totally
the
honest,
funniest
most of
thing to
the-
me is the entire globe is in debt. In debt to who?
the aliens, Kevon. The
We are billions and trillions of dollars in debt.
to the
to who?
aliens.
For let's look at
That has to
right.
be the answer.
But let's
Who else?
but let's look at situations that would have happened in other places, like in Africa, like with the Ebola outbreak. There were places that had real concerns. Some concerns were religious. Some concerns were based on historical events that would have happened before. Just a mistrust of the government in general. All these health concerns, all these things. They recognized that the culture had a lot to play with it. So you know what they had to do? They didn't employ economists to go into these areas and try to convince people to take the vaccine. They employed anthropologists who understood the culture and was able to frame the discussion that would address the cultural concerns of the people they were trying to get on board. Like, to me, that just makes sense. Like, if you realize if you realize it's a health issue, then you have to employ the health officials, right, to be the ones to have these conversations, not politicians, not businessmen, not, like, it's just weird.